Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Julie from Living Large on Lifetime, and today is the video you've all been waiting for. Today is finally the answers to your Ask Me Anything questions. That's right. So we got just a few questions. Let's dive in. Let's take care of the most obvious elephant in the room first. It is true that Eddie and I are not together at this moment, and that is really all I want to say about that. So I really appreciate that you would respect our privacy. Eddie is doing great. He's just fine. He's doing his dialysis, and yeah, his health is great. He's fine. I'm fine. We're fine. Second thing, most obvious, is that yes, I moved, and I love my new apartment. It is me and Stanley, and I live 1 mile away from work. I cannot even tell you how awesome it is that I don't have to commute. I feel like I have got 2 hours of my life back every single day. It makes a huge difference. In California, we spend so much time in the car, and you just kind of get used to it. It's what you do. But then when all of a sudden you don't have to drive so much, it's amazing. And I had been having problems with like medication I guess I can say last year now. So I had been having some problems with medication and my medication not being quite right. So it was getting really, really difficult for me to drive because the medication was really making me super, super drowsy. So I'm really thankful that I don't have to be in the car as much anymore because I'm still trying to figure that part out. So me and cars, done. Okay, on to your other very important questions. KBJ says, for your Ask Me Anything, how many kids and grandkids do you have? You seem way too young to be a grandma. Thank you so much for that. I feel way too young to be a grandma, but I'm telling you, my grandkids are just the best. They are the best. So if you watched my video from when I just went to Idaho for vacation, I have 2 grown boys. They are, I think, 23 and 24. They both have spouses and they both have 2 children. So I have 4 grandkids. My oldest granddaughter is 5. Her name is Liliana and she is priceless. And then I have a 4-year-old grandson named Ronnie Ray, who's absolutely hilarious and the spitting image of his dad. And then I have 2 younger granddaughters who are, I think, a month or 2 apart. They are 2 years old and they are Liliana and Jocelyn Alice. Sorry, not Liliana, Aubriana. Wow, I know these guys' names, believe me, I just spent 5 days with them. They're hilarious. Anyway, those are all my kids and grandkids. Eddie has 1 daughter who is 16. I think she might almost be 17, but no grandkids for him. So that's how that rolls down. Okay, next question. Are you going to be, oh, this one's a little bit late. Are you going to be 100% good on Christmas Day, or are you going to have an eat whatever you want day? This is from D. Harris, and she says, I'm having an eat whatever you want day. I love Christmas. It's my favorite time of year, and I always cook enough to feed an army. Well, I kind of had some plans for Christmas Eve dinner to stay on track, and it ended up being pretty much eat whatever you want. But I was so full, you guys. It's funny when you overeat like that and you haven't for a long time, you realize what it does to your body and how it makes you feel, and it's not a good feeling. At least it was not a good feeling. The food tasted great going down, but it's nice to like call a halt. As for the rest of Christmas, the rest of my challenge was actually when I was in Idaho spending time with my family, because my kids, I always laugh that they're still alive because they don't like vegetables. So they eat completely different from the way that I do. And so a lot of the meals we had together, I just wanted to be flexible and easy. And so I just ate pretty much whatever they did. So yes, my weight is up a few pounds, but nothing really to be concerned about. And it was worth it. So yes, it was Christmas. It was pretty much eat whatever you want kind of Christmas for me. And I loved it. I am telling you, I cannot believe how much I am craving salad and fish though. So that's my diet for the next week at least. Okay, Melinda Norman says, well, this is gonna be a longer question. idea for a video. I've suggested this before, really going into detail about the weight loss portion of your journey. How long have you been overweight? Why? Because like binging or just overeating or whatever. When you started your journey this last time, what was different? What did you struggle with? Did you always stick to your points? Did you use your weeklies, fit points? I've been following you since the beginning, but it's mostly been about your maintenance journey, and I'd love to hear more about the weight loss portion. So this could be an entirely separate video because this could be like so long. But I'm gonna touch on this, Melinda, because I know you've asked a couple times, and I know a lot of you guys are curious as well. This could get really long and detailed. So let's just say since I was 16, I have had an eating disorder in some way. I feel like right now I am fully 100% in recovery from that. But there is a lot of debate as to whether or not eating disorders ever really go away. So I feel like I'm fine, but who knows, in another, in 5-10 years, if I have a major life stressor episode, whatever, it could all come back. So I started when I was like 16 years old with this eating disorder, and it was mostly just, it wasn't, I don't want to say it wasn't bad because all eating disorders are bad, but it was kind of just off and on my entire adult life. I was able to have 2 kids, very healthy kids, so I was able to control myself. And then after I had my kids, the pregnancy weight pretty much came off pretty easily, so I was not overweight at that point. I became overweight because I had been doing low carb for years and years, like probably 10, 20 years, and I just got too lazy or too comfortable, and I was drinking too much wine, and I just started to gain weight. Although I was still running, because I also go in phases with my running. Like I'll have running years where I run like 3 marathons in 1 year, and then I'll have a year where I don't run very much at all. So even though I was running at the time and I was running marathons, I was still overweight. It was just from excess. It was job stress and just eating too much and drinking too much. So what kind of woke me up at that point was not only the pictures I was seeing of myself, holy moly, did not like that at all. But also my regular weight came within 3 pounds of my highest pregnancy weight. And that kind of like flipped a light switch on for me. And I was like, oh my gosh, something needs to be done. So I don't know why I decided to join Weight Watchers, because I wanted the accountability, and I know that if I had to pay for something and if I had to go and see someone every week, then I would be more prone to actually do the program, because low carb, I was just doing it on my own and like being way too flexible and doing my own thing. So I needed more structure. And I knew that also paying for it would make me really follow through. So that's why I joined Weight Watchers. And I think you asked why was it different this last time? I just got to the point where I could not stand myself at all. And it started with the way that I looked, but the way that I looked then carried over into the way that I felt. And it started affecting every area of my life because it started making me miserable. And I'm gonna tear up. This is why I credit Weight Watchers so much for changing my life, because I was so miserable with myself at that time. And to be able to say you're gonna do something and follow through and get results and really make something happen is huge. And if I can do that with Weight Watchers, anybody can do that. Anybody can. It changed my life. It changed my outlook. I still struggle with a lot of things. You said, what did you struggle with? I still struggle with drinking too much wine. That is my daily points struggle. For some people it's chocolate or desserts. For me, it's wine. I love my wine. So that is what I struggled with as I was losing the weight, and what I still struggle with now in maintaining the weight. But I also, did I always stick to my points? Did I use my weeklies and fit points? I have always used, I feel like I've always been in the negative. I know that mostly that's since I've been Lifetime, I know that I'm negative a lot because I tend to have some crazy weekends. But while I was actually losing the weight, I was using weeklies and I was using Fit Points. And I did not use them all, so I wasn't negative all the time. But I did use my Fit Points and my weeklies, and I was still able to lose weight. And that's how I was able to drink wine, eat pizza, enjoy the things that I like to enjoy, and still lose weight and feel so much better. I still struggle with something that I think not enough people talk about, but something that, I'm gonna tear up again, something that absolutely affects your weight loss journey and your whole well-being in general, and that is mental health. And I still struggle hugely with depression and bipolar, and I am in a place where I feel like it's under control. But if you have any sort of mental health issues, you know where I'm coming from. It's really it's an up and down journey as well, but it affects every area of your life. So for me to not say, and I'm gonna tear up because this last year has been so hard for me with this regard, but for me to say that mental health does not affect my weight loss journey would be a big lie. And you guys know that of anything else, I am totally down to earth and totally honest. And so you can tell I obviously still struggle with this. I take medication. I try to keep it under control, but that is something that I do struggle with still. So let's get off this topic. Next question. That was tough, Melinda. Actually, that seriously deserves an entire video because my weight loss history cannot be summed up in like 5 minutes, obviously. Okay, next question. Enza. Hi, Enza. You are a WW guide still, right? Or do you just coach now? I actually do both. On Saturdays, I'm a guide, and on Sundays, I'm a coach. Oh, and on Tuesdays, I'm a guide. Have you ever got a member who got really upset because they weren't expecting a gain on the scale and they did gain? How did you approach or help the member feel better? I ask this because I've read all over the WW groups on Facebook, people working as WW guides unintentionally give the member a disappointed look if they gain weight, or even worse, say something not so kind. Are the staff trained at all about this? I can tell sometimes if I've gained weight, even a couple ounces, the WW guides will look disappointed or even give you a "what are you doing here" glance. I thought I would ask an expert. Well, you know what? We are trained on this, and it's especially the last 4 or 5 months with WW really going into the whole body wellness. It is not just about the number on the scale. It's not. This is a shift in mindset though, not just for us as guides, but also for you guys, for the people who are actually on this journey trying to lose weight. It's huge. It's not just about the scale. A lot of it is so much mental. It's up here. So we have been trained extensively in how not to give a positive or a negative reaction. Although most of us who are at WW are hoping to lose weight, we are opening the doors now for everybody who wants to be healthy. And that is not necessarily a weight loss indicator. So I don't necessarily need to lose weight right now. I'd love to lose a few pounds, but I don't necessarily need to lose weight right now. But there are many unhealthy habits that I could correct that I might want to go to WW to get help with. So with us opening our doors for that, we have to step even further away from the number on the scale. I know that upsets some people because they're thinking, this is why I'm here. But it's not just the number on the scale. And that's the part we have to remember as guides, as coaches, as members. It's not just about the number on the scale. And I'm sorry for whoever it was who may have given you a disapproving look or even said something. I feel like it's second nature, especially because we as guides have been in your shoes and have tried to lose weight. And obviously most guides who work for WW have lost weight. So it's a natural reaction for us also to focus on the scale. It's kind of like instinct, you know what I mean? So if we're hoping for you also, I always hope for my members to lose weight because that's what they want. That's what they want. But it doesn't always happen. And so when it doesn't happen, it's to be expected. It's part of the process. It's part of the journey. But to convey that, for us to convey that in a positive or negative way as guides, we need to be more balanced. Does that make sense? So yes, we have been trained about it, and I feel really bad that you were made to feel that way. So yeah, does that answer your question? I have one more question for you guys. Nancy Dunn says, how many children and grandchildren do you have, and how about Eddie? Does he have any? I answered that. And is Eddie doing okay? I haven't seen him. So I pretty much answered that too. Eddie is doing well. I have 2 kids, 4 grandkids. He has 1 daughter, and that is it for Ask Me Anything. You guys, this probably opened up way more than it actually answered. So if you have more questions for me, ask down below. We can do an Ask Me Anything part 2 if you have more questions. If there's not enough questions, then I won't, but I feel like I opened Pandora's box with this whole thing. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for watching my channel. I really want my channel to grow this year. So I want to hear feedback on what you guys want to see from me. I am in Lifetime, so a lot of my menus, a lot of my days, a lot of my food looks the same because I'm not in active weight loss, but I am still in this with you guys. I'm on the same boat. It's a day-to-day struggle for me as well, to get myself to the gym, to eat within my points, to not drink too much wine. Everything that you guys struggle with, I struggle with too. So let's make this 2019 is gonna be an amazing year. I cannot wait, and let's hope that we all reach our WW goals, whether they be weight loss or just to increase our healthy habits. Thank you so much for watching. If you have more questions, leave them down below. Maybe we'll do a part 2. Bye guys.